Roseville, Rocklin, Lincoln. 3 cities about 15 minutes apart and 3 totally different price tags. And here's the thing nobody tells you. Picking the wrong one for your situation can quietly cost you hundreds of dollars a month in ways that never show up on the listing. So let me give you the short answer right up front. Rocklin is running the highest right now at about $705,000 median sale price. Roseville sits in the $620 to $660 range, depending on the neighborhood and the source. And Lincoln is the value play. New construction and more square footage for less, with a couple of trade-offs you absolutely need to know about before you commit. In this video, we're putting all 3 head-to-head. Prices, commutes, schools, utilities, and that one surprises almost everybody. Plus, Mello-Roos and special assessments, new construction, and lot sizes. And stick around for the end because I'm going to give you the one question test Rich and I use with our own clients to cut this decision down to size fast. That question has saved buyers from some expensive mistakes. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kat Farless, and together with my husband Rich, we help people work through this exact decision every single week. Buyers coming from San Jose, San Francisco, the Peninsula, Southern California, all over the country. And just as many locals moving within the Sacramento region who are weighing these same 3 cities. There's a lot of information out there comparing Roseville, Rocklin, and Lincoln. And honestly, some of it is conflicting. One site says Rocklin is up 8%, another says prices are flat. Somebody in a forum swears Lincoln is too far out. So we put this together to make it easier. Real numbers, real trade-offs, and no favorites because we sell homes in all 3. Here's what I believe going in. There is no best city on this list. There's a best city for your budget and your commute and the kind of house you actually want to live in. By the end of this video, you'll know which one that is. We're covering 7 things: the price gap, location and commute, schools, utilities, Mello-Roos and special assessments, new construction and lot sizes, and then the decision framework that pulls it all together. All right, numbers first, because everything else in this comparison builds on top of them. Let's start with Rocklin, because right now it's the most expensive of the 3. The data shows Rocklin's median sale price at about $705,000, and it's been up roughly 8% year over year, one of the strongest appreciation numbers in the whole region. Homes there have been going pending in roughly 16 to 30 days, and it still leans towards sellers. Well-priced Rocklin homes, especially move-in ready ones with upgrades, can still go pending in the first week. Roseville is next, and Roseville is interesting because the number depends on where you look. Median sale prices have been landing around $626, while average home values run closer to $658. Split the difference and think of Roseville as a $620 to $660 city. Days on market have stretched compared to last year, and you'll see figures anywhere from 15 to 31 days. But here's the qualifier that matters. Homes that are priced right are still selling at roughly 99.8% of list price. And let me put that in plain English, because that stat gets thrown around a lot. 99.8% means if a home is listed at $650, it's closing around $648.7. That's within $1,300 of asking, basically full price. The homes that sit are overpriced ones. That's true in all 3 cities, by the way. And then Lincoln. Lincoln's typical home values sit in the low to mid 600s, but resale homes have actually been closing anywhere from the mid 500s up, the lowest entry point of the 3 cities by a meaningful margin. And I want to be clear about something right away, because Lincoln gets stereotyped. This is not just a construction zone. Lincoln has established neighborhoods with real character, the older streets around downtown, areas like Stanford Ranch and Sun City Lincoln Hills on the 55-plus side. It's a full city with a historic core and a new construction boom happening around it. Days on market run longer in Lincoln, sometimes 40, 50, even 60 days on certain listings. And part of that is sheer amount of new construction competing with resale. When a builder down the street is offering a rate buy down and design credits, a resale home has to be price sharp to move, which, if you're a buyer, is exactly the kind of negotiating room you want to hear about. So the headline: roughly 700s Rocklin, mid-600s Roseville, and Lincoln under both, sometimes well under. For context, Placer County as a whole is sitting around 673,000 median, up about 2.8% year over year. All three of these cities are still a massive discount from the Bay Area. We did the full math in our cost of living video, and it's usually a 40 to 60% drop in housing costs, because 15 minutes of geography changes your commute, your utility bill, and your tax bill more than people would ever guess. Let's talk about the map. Picture Highway 65 as the spine of South Placer County. Roseville sits at the bottom of that spine, right where 65 meets Interstate 80. Rocklin is next up the corridor, and Lincoln is at the top, the end of the line, at least for now. If you're commuting into Sacramento, Roseville is your shortest run. You're on I-80 immediately, and downtown Sacramento is usually 25 to 35 minutes outside of peak crunch. Rocklin adds roughly 5 to 10 minutes to that. Lincoln adds 15 to 25 minutes on top of Roseville because everything funnels down 65 first, and that stretch of 65 between Lincoln and Roseville gets congested at commute hours. If you're driving into Sacramento every single day, that difference is real. That's potentially 2 hours a week of your life. Now flip it. If you work in the 65 corridor itself, the hospitals, the tech and business parks in Roseville and Rocklin, the Galleria area, then Lincoln's commute penalty mostly disappears. You're going 10, 15 minutes against lighter traffic. And if you work from home most of the week, the commute map barely matters at all. And Lincoln's price advantage starts looking very attractive. One more thing on the map, because it's going to change this comparison over the next several years. Placer Parkway. There's a major new east-west connector planned to link Highway 65 over to Highway 99 alongside Placer 1 development, rising on the west side. That's a 2,200-acre master-planned community with about 5,600 homes and a Sacramento State and Sierra College campus. New roads and a university campus reshape commute patterns. I'm not asking you to buy based on a road that isn't finished. I'm telling you the geography up here is not standing still. If this comparison is useful so far, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling me which of these three cities you're leaning toward right now, or what question is holding you up. And your question decides what we'll film next. Half the videos on this channel started as a comment. Schools. This is where three cities run three completely different systems. Most of Rocklin is served by one unified district, Rocklin Unified, covering elementary through high school, and it's consistently one of the highest rated districts in the region. That consistency is a big part of why Rocklin commands the price premium it does. But here's the detail that surprises even locals. Portions of Rocklin actually fall in the Loomis Union School District for the elementary and middle years, feeding into Del Oro High over in Placer Union High School District. And with all the newer communities Rocklin has added over the years, boundaries have moved. So even in Rocklin, the simplest of the three on paper, you still verify by address. Roseville is more of a patchwork. Most of the city is served by elementary districts like Roseville City School District, feeding into the Roseville Joint Union High School District. And there are strong campuses at every level, but ratings and boundaries vary neighborhood by neighborhood, especially between older East Roseville and the newer Western communities. In Roseville, you're not choosing a district so much as choosing a specific school boundary. That's a street-by-street question. Lincoln is served by Western Placer Unified, a district that's growing as fast as the city is. That growth cuts two ways. On one hand, you get brand new campuses and facilities because new development literally funds new schools. On the other hand, fast-growing districts go through boundary changes and growing pains as they build out. The district serves both the established neighborhoods near downtown Lincoln and the newer communities. So the campus you're assigned to can be a decades-old school or one that opened last fall. One more reason the address matters more than the city name. The practical advice, and this is what I tell my own family, never buy for a school based on the city name. Verify the exact assigned schools for the exact address in writing before you write an offer. We do this for every client, and boundaries surprise people constantly. Now, the next section is one that surprises almost every buyer we work with, including the locals, because one of these three cities is on a completely different electric utility than the other two. And in a Sacramento summer, that shows up on your bill in a big way. Roseville has its own municipal electric utility, Roseville Electric. Rocklin and Lincoln are PG&E territory, and the rate difference between a municipal utility and PG&E is one of the biggest hidden line items in this entire comparison. Here's why it matters so much here specifically. Our summers are hot. We're talking weeks of triple digits, and your AC runs from June through September. The same 2,400 square foot house, same thermostat setting, can produce a meaningfully different bill in Roseville than it does 10 minutes up the road in Rocklin or Lincoln. Often a difference of well over $100 a month in a peak season. Roseville also runs its own water utility, which keeps that side of the bill competitive too. Now, here's the fine print on Roseville, and this one catches even local buyers. Roseville Electric only serves properties inside Roseville's actual city limits. Some of the newest construction pushing north and west of the city out toward the Sunset area and the new Placer One development. Some of the newest construction pushing north and west of the city out toward the Sunset area and the new Placer One development sits in unincorporated Placer County, which means a home can have a Roseville area address, feel like West Roseville, and still be PG&E. If you're buying new construction out there, confirm the electric provider for that specific parcel with the builder before you fall in love with the utility savings. We check this for every client because the answer changes block by block out on that edge. Does that mean Rocklin and Lincoln are bad choices? No. Plenty of newer homes there are built to modern efficiency standards, and solar changes the equation for a lot of PG&E households. Quick note on solar while we're here. If you're looking at a home with a leased system, don't panic. Modern leases typically transfer the warranties and the panel responsibility to the new owner. The key is reviewing the actual lease terms during escrow, not assuming owned is automatically better or a lease is automatically a deal breaker. But when you're comparing monthly cost of ownership across these three cities, you can't just compare mortgage payments. A cheaper house in PG&E territory and a slightly pricier house on Roseville Electric can land closer together on a real monthly basis than the sticker price suggests. Run the utility line item every time. Let me hit pause on the comparison for one quick minute and introduce ourselves properly. I'm Kat Farless. My husband Rich and I lead a real estate team here in the Sacramento area, and we work with buyers and sellers across Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties every single day, including a whole lot of people making this exact Roseville, Rocklin, Lincoln decision. And if part of your move involves selling a home somewhere else first, we have a way to handle that too. More on that at the end. Now, if you're comparing these cities from a distance, we built something exactly for you. It's called the NorCal Reel. It's our interactive relocation resource, and it breaks down all 8 of the cities we work in most, including Roseville, Rocklin, and Lincoln, with neighborhoods, parks and trails, dining, coffee spots, golf, and new construction for each one. It also has tools to run the numbers on affordability, a buying timeline that covers new builds, and an honest truth section that sounds a lot like this video. If you want it, just drop the word guide in the comments and we'll send you the NorCal Reel. It's free and it's the same resource we send our own relocation clients before their first visit. Back to the head-to-head, because the next 2 sections are where the monthly math really gets decided, starting with the tax line most out-of-area buyers have never even heard of. If you're coming from out of the area, Mello-Roos is a special tax that newer California communities use to fund the infrastructure around them. The roads, the schools, parks, fire stations that make a brand new neighborhood livable. It shows up as a line on the property tax bill, on top of the base rate, and it often travels with special assessments, other voter-approved district charges. Together, they gap between the tax rate you assumed and the tax bill you actually get. Here's how it plays across our 3 cities. In Roseville, it's mostly a West Side story. Many of the newer West Roseville communities carry Mello-Roos and special assessments that can add roughly $200 to $400 a month compared to a similar home in older East Roseville. Same city, very different tax bills. In Rocklin, the newer master planned areas, Whitney Ranch is the big one, carry them too, while much of established Rocklin, like the Stanford Ranch area and older, is light or clear. In Lincoln, the newer communities like Lincoln Crossing and 12 Bridges were built on these districts, while the established neighborhoods near downtown Lincoln often have little to none. But, and this is the part of the Mello-Roos conversation nobody gives you, in some of these communities, the monthly cost actually buys you something real. Take Lincoln Crossing. The HOA dues there typically bundle high-speed internet into the monthly assessment, plus a clubhouse with a fitness center, pools, and a full calendar of community events and gatherings. Add up what you'd pay separately for internet and a gym membership, and a chunk of that monthly cost pays for itself. Whitney Ranch in Rocklin works the same way. Dues support the ranch house, which is a resort-style clubhouse with a gym, a lounge, a resort pool, and water play area, a ballroom you can reserve, plus community parks and walking paths connecting the neighborhoods, and events all year long, food trucks, trivia nights, holiday gatherings. Always verify the current dues and exactly what they include with the association during escrow. These things change, but the point is, don't just look at the monthly number, look at what the monthly number delivers. So notice what just happened to the price gap. That Lincoln home that looked $80,000 cheaper than Rocklin, if it carried $350 a month in Mello-Roos and special assessments, and the Rocklin home carries none, a chunk of that advantage just evaporated. And the reverse is true too. An older East Roseville or downtown Lincoln home with a clean tax bill can be a much better monthly deal than its list price suggests. 2 rules we give every client. First, these charges vary street by street, sometimes house by house, so never assume based on the city or even the neighborhood name. Second, get the actual tax bill for the actual property during escrow and check the payoff timeline, because some of these districts do expire. We pull this for our clients on every offer. It takes minutes and it's changed decisions. And that tax conversation leads straight into the next one, because the reason Lincoln has so much Mello-Roos is the same reason it might be your best option: new construction. Let's talk what your money buys in dirt and square footage. Lincoln is the new construction capital of this comparison. It's where builders have land, and it's where your dollar stretches furthest on a brand new home. New construction in Lincoln has been listing around the mid-600s, and builders right now are motivated. Rate buydowns, closing cost credits, design center incentives. In some cases, the builder incentive package beats a cheaper resale home on actual monthly payment. If a 2026 built home with a warranty is what you want, Lincoln gives you the most choices at the lowest entry point. And nearby, the first phases of Placer 1 are adding even more new inventory to this corner of the county. Rocklin has more new construction than people give it credit for. Whitney Ranch is the headliner. But there are a number of newer communities that have gone in across the city over the past decade, generally at a premium, in a city that's now largely built out. And that build-out is exactly why established Rocklin has something the newer communities mostly don't: lot size. Older Rocklin and East Roseville neighborhoods were laid out in an era of bigger yards, while a lot of new construction today sits on compact, low-maintenance lots. Some buyers love that. Some buyers want the pool, the RV access, the room between houses. Neither is wrong, but they are different products, and the city you choose largely decides which product you're shopping. Quick honesty check on both sides, because we promised no favorites. Buying in Lincoln means living in a community that's still finishing. Construction traffic, dirt lots next door for a while, and that Mello-Roos bill we just covered. Buying established in Rocklin or Roseville means 1990s and 2000s systems. Roofs, HVAC, water heaters that are somewhere in their life cycle. Budget for one or the other. There's no third option where everything is new and the neighborhood is finished and the taxes are low. If you find that house, call me. All right, you've got the prices, the map, the schools, the utilities, the taxes, and the housing stock. Now it's time to put it together. Here's how Rich and I actually walk clients through this choice, including that one question test I promised you at the start. Here's the one question test. Describe your ordinary Tuesday, not your dream Saturday. Your Tuesday. Where do you drive? Who needs to be where by 8 a.m. in the morning? What happens after work? Because buyers choose cities based on Saturdays, the trails, the wineries, the lakes, and then they live their actual lives on Tuesdays. The right city is the one that makes your Tuesday easy. If your Tuesday includes a daily commute into Sacramento, Roseville is usually your answer. Shortest drive, immediate I-80 access, the biggest range of price points from 400,000 condos to 800,000 new builds. And Roseville Electric quietly saving you money every summer. The trade-off. It's the biggest and busiest of the three, and you have to navigate the east versus west split on Mello-Roos, special assessments, and school boundaries. If schools are the anchor of your stretch and you want a district you rarely have to think twice about, and the budget stretches to the mid-700s, Rocklin is a premium pick. A consistently strong unified district across most of the city, established neighborhoods, mature parks like Quarry Park, mostly built out and settled. The trade-off is the price itself. You're paying roughly $50,000 to $80,000 over Roseville and often more than that over Lincoln. And it's still competitive. Well-priced Rocklin homes can go pending in the first week, so you need to shop decisively. And if your Tuesday happens mostly at home or up and down the 65 corridor, and you want the newest house your money can buy, Lincoln is the value play of the decade in this county. Lowest entry point, the most new construction, builder incentives on the table, established neighborhoods near downtown at prices the other two cities can't touch, and more negotiating room on resale than either neighbor because of those longer days on market. The trade-offs are the drive if Sacramento is in your daily routine, the Mello-Roos and special assessments in the newer communities, and a school district that's still growing into itself. And look, if you're sitting there thinking my Tuesday could work in two of these, that's normal. Most of our clients come down to 2 finalists. That's when you tour with the monthly math in hand. Mortgage plus taxes with the actual Mello-Roos and special assessment figures, plus insurance, plus the real utility estimate for that address. The city that wins on paper isn't always the city that wins on the full monthly number. We build that comparison for our buyers on every shortlist, and it settles more debates than any listing photo ever has. So, the 15-minute map one more time. Rocklin, highest price, around $705. The strong unified school district across most of the city, established and settled. Roseville, the middle lane at $620 to $660. The short Sacramento commute, and the municipal utility advantage. Lincoln, the lowest entry, the newest homes, the most negotiating room, carried by the 65 corridor and priced with Mello-Roos and special assessments in mind. 3 great cities, 1 right answer for your Tuesday. Here's where to go from here, and it depends on where you are in this decision. If you're still in research mode, maybe comparing these 3 against Folsom, El Dorado Hills, Granite Bay, or the rest of the region, that's exactly what the NorCal Reel is for. It breaks down all 8 cities with the neighborhoods, the things to do, and the new construction picture in each, plus the affordability tool to run your own numbers. Drop guide in the comments and we'll send it over. If you're further along, you've got a budget, maybe a timeline, and you want to talk specifics about any of these 3 cities, reach out directly. You can book a free call with us, and our contact information is in the description. No pressure. We just want you to get this right, whichever city it ends up being. And one more thing, because moves run in both directions. If you're coming here and this move means selling a home in the Bay Area, Southern California, or out of state first, Rich and I keep a vetted referral network of agents in those markets. We can make sure you have the right person working for you on both ends of this move, so the selling side doesn't hold the buying side hostage. And if you're on the other side of that coin, you already own here in Roseville, Rocklin, Lincoln, or anywhere in the Sacramento region, and you're thinking about selling and relocating somewhere else in California or out of state, call us. We'll handle the sale of your home here, and we'll connect you with an agent we've personally vetted in the market you're headed to. You shouldn't have to gamble on a stranger from the internet on either end of a move this big. If this video helped, subscribe. Share it with whoever else is in this decision with you, because I know these choices are rarely made alone. And drop us a comment. We really do read them all. Now, if you're weighing any of these cities against the Bay Area, your very next question is the money. And we already did the math line by line. The next video is linked right now in the corner. Cost of living in Sacramento, the full 2026 breakdown versus the Bay Area. Go check it out next. I'm Kat Farless. Thank you for being here, and we will see you in the next one.